Hello.
Hello.
Pardon our on-air freakout as we learn that our normal way of broadcasting will be going away August 1st.
Yay.
Good times.
Well, maybe then we could get our camera fixed. There's always hope.
I've had a lot of issues this week, Lynn. I'm not going to lie. It's been quite a week.
It has been. It's been that week. It has been that week. So let's talk about one of the most intricate, sometimes frustrating technique in quilting.
Do you mean, in fact, the Ginger Rogers of quilting?
I do. I mean, the Ginger Rogers of quilting.
Backwards and in heels.
Yes. And if you are a person who likes this technique, and I don't hate it, actually. I like it.
Oh, I do too. But I like it in doses.
Yes.
Lynn, what are we talking about?
We are talking about paper piecing or foundation piecing.
Well,
there it is.
It's a twofer.
It is also, yes. So I like paper piecing. I mean, as a technique.
Let the record state, most every topic we've brought up, Lynn has summed up by saying, I like topic.
That's not true. I don't like English paper piecing.
But you said, I like the look.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. Yeah.
But I just wait for it. It's like a little, if we ever put out the bingo card for you guys to like, maybe do a drinking game or something fun at home. It's like Lynn says, I like X. It's going to be the free space. Because you're so positive about stuff.
I try to be positive
I'm a little
about
more surly.
I am positive about everything that has to do with quilting. I am agreeable.
I like being agreeable.
I am agreeable. I respect other people's opinions. And
I do as well. I just think sometimes they're wrong, but I respect them and they're allowed to be wrong.
See, but I'm not going to tell somebody they're wrong. I can think it in my
That's
head.
My job.
I can think it in my head really
I think
loud.
it on my face.
I don't think I don't even think it on my face.
Oh, I think it on my face.
I don't. No.
I got to tell my new team at work, like, sorry, guys, I have an RBF. I just look like my dad.
Okay, so when I say I like, there's probably degrees of like, though. Like, you know, I could really love a technique. And then I like it. It's not my favorite, but, you know, I tried it. It's okay. But really, when it comes to the world of quilting, what do you not like?
Bring your bag around.
What do you not like?
I'm not a fan of basting, but I do it anyway.
Oh, see, I don't baste, so there it is. I don't baste very much. Very little.
I'm a little slaty. Anitra, I'm not sure what that word means.
Salty.
Okay.
She's salty. You are salty.
It's like, is that some...
No. It's a slang term for...
Some rogue insult that I'm not aware of.
No. It's not.
Yes, I am salty.
You are salty. So you're kind of the salty one of the two of us. Okay. So really, in like the Laverne and Shirley, you're like
Laverne.
You're Laverne.
You're Laverne. You monogram everything. That is her signature thing.
But Shirley's like the nice one.
And yet, when we took the quiz, we both got Shirley.
I know. I got Shirley. But I do monogram everything.
I also got Jamie
I don't
Lannister.
walk around with a L on my thing, though. Like she did in the show. I never really watched that show, though, so I can't, like, say a whole lot about it.
I watched enough to just not be able to watch.
I think when it was like originally on, I was a little too young to maybe appreciate it.
No, I watched it and appreciated it, but then I keep thinking that
Happy Days was
Lenny
better.
Is like the weird brother on Better Call Saul.
Yeah, he always made me nervous. Lenny was kind of the and Squiggy.
Like, yeah.
I wasn't real big fans of them.
Anywho, paper piecing.
Paper piecing. I tell you what I don't like. I can tell you movies I don't like at all, and I'll get slammed for it. But
don't do that. Let's talk about paper piecing.
Okay, let's talk about paper piecing.
You go first. You got a bigger stack than me.
Let's be honest. The entire stack is me.
Yes, but I knew two
because
of the others.
I went to the library, which, by the way, we're going to owe more money for because it was due today.
Well,
and I didn't turn them in because I knew we were talking about them tonight. But I didn't even go. So we saw we had a a lecturer came in for the guild, and it was Pam Buddha, and she's a traditional quilter. Very nice lady. Got to have dinner with her the other night, last night exactly, and enjoyed talking to her, and very, very neat.
Yeah,
I monitored her class I proctored. They call it proctoring. I proctored her class on Thursday, which means I went and got her lunch. I made sure all her stuff was set up and handed out what I was supposed to hand out, and I was the class helper.
Yeah, I'm sad to miss tomorrow's class, but I have to be the emotional support human for the animals as they're all freaked out about the exterior painting happening right now.
Right, yes. Hey, do you know what today is? Talking about animals. It's Josie's birthday.
Woo!
Yes, so she wasn't very excited because she got into the cockaburro plants out in the yard, and I spent this morning taking them out of her ears.
Good times. So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You don't have any cockaburros in your ears. Good job.
Okay, first book is
Flip Flop Paper Piecing by Mary Kay Moulton. I couldn't read it backwards. That name sounds super familiar to me. Like I should know who she is.
I work with someone else with that last name.
But I'm not sure. I should have looked her up. This book, and I'm sorry, our second camera's not happy right now. Somebody else knows how to work it, and that person's not me.
It's not me either.
So and they're not here.
You'll be implying that it's me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to imply that it was you. So anyway, this one I think is a good beginner type of book because it doesn't have really intricate things. It's kind of got some basic designs, but this is one of those books that I'm like, yeah, you could paper piece that,
or you could just piece it. So
you got
as per the chat, what is the point or the purpose of paper piecing?
Well, that's why I don't know that. I think that this may be the book for you if you're starting. The point of paper piecing is to piece some very intricate
and accurate.
Right. Intricacy and accuracy in blocks and it allows you to do very small pieces.
Like it's very hard to piece a quilt block that has a piece of fabric that is 1/8 of an inch wide finished.
But you can do that with paper piecing,
and it can come to a very skinny point,
or foundation piecing. Yes. And the difference between foundation and paper is paper you will take out, foundation you will not. It's just in
paper
there.
You're supposed to take out. Many of us, when first starting, maybe have forgotten to take the paper out.
I'll have one. I could probably go get one and show you, and you could hear the crinkle in it. It was my first paper piecing thing. So I like this, but I will say that unless you're having trouble with accuracy, this one is really not, I don't think, the best.
Well, it doesn't showcase the best that paper piecing can offer.
That's it. But it's a good beginner if you want to learn how to do paper piecing. Yeah,
now, another good one, and this is from who I consider the queen of paper piecing, Miss Carol Doak.
Carol Doak, yeah, I agree. That's not who I learned from, but yes, I agree.
Well, I guess it's her technique.
Yeah.
And what I like about this book, so she goes through up front and shows a lot of blocks. Blocks, all the blocks. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you get to the end and it's like, oh, here's the basic pattern. All those blocks are the same size. Like, here's the interesting way to set them.
Right.
And then you could swap out your favorite floral block instead of maybe the one that she used.
Right.
So it gives you a lot of flexibility in design. So if you're new, it gives you the basic instructions.
This is, and to me, this is a beginner book too, for paper piecing, beginner book.
And like you could make one of every block and just stick it in a quilt and it's a sampler.
Absolutely.
Let's see, it's got little cats. Who doesn't love little cats?
Cats. I like cats. My dogs don't like cats, but I like
Y'all
cats.
take a shot. She just said she likes cats.
I
like cats. So this is an excellent beginner book. And this one is from our guild library.
All of them are from our guild library.
Well, yes. but I'm also pointing out that I have also found this one at our local library. So it was very popular. What happened to our close-up camera? We can't find the right cord, I think. Or we didn't jiggle it enough. Or it's on his period. We don't know.
It's a cord thing. We're walking around looking if there's a cord laying around. I don't know where the cord is. I didn't move the cord. I don't know. It went way somewhere.
Well, stop looking for the cord. Pull out another book.
For the cord. Okay, paper
They're not
piecing.
here for hot cord talk. They want paper piecing talk, Lynn.
Really, they're just hanging out with us to hang out with us. Paper piecing, the Quick Strip Way by Peggy Martin. And I did like this book. What I liked about this book is it had a lot of stars in it, which I thought was kind of fun. And one of the ways that she does this is she has you cut stuff into strips and then lay the strips across the paper and do a sew and flip kind of thing. She does really good instructions, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, I really did enjoy, I enjoyed the blocks in here because I thought they were striking. But I kind of like star blocks too, so I said like again. Now you've got me like, if they are doing a drinking game, they'll be drunk in like
4 minutes.
4 minutes. They will be drunk quickly. Now I'm conscious about saying the word.
You shouldn't be. I just find it delightful.
Do you find
I find many things delightful. And my
Yes.
face may not look like it, but I do.
you
Thanks,
do.
Dad.
Now, a lot of them look very similar.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a neat, especially if you're into star blocks, it's got some neat kind of way to do those angles.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had a snowflake one in here too that I thought was kind of cool.
Now, I will say one of the trade-offs you make to get that accuracy is a lot of extra fabric that ends up in the trash bin.
Yes.
Because you're cutting these weird shapes and you're not like exactly rotary cutting them first. No. And when I do it, I'm cutting a chunk of fabric.
Oh, here's the snowflake ones that I thought were pretty cool.
I have a snowflake pattern.
Aren't those cool?
Mm-hmm.
I like that too.
Yeah, I have a snowflake pattern that I want to do. It's a table runner. And it's a little different because it's printed on like the tissue paper that you would see normally for the big four clothing patterns.
So to me, this might be I know Judy Niemeyer's a really popular designer.
I would consider her most of her patterns are more advanced.
Right. So to me, this would be maybe a beginner before you got into the
like
Judy
an adventurous
Niemeyer.
Beginner.
Yeah. I mean, of Judy Niemeyer style, kind of this is similar to her style. And it would be like easier to do if you've never done it before you tackle the Judy Niemeyer would be my thoughts. So I did enjoy this book.
Gonna make something out of it, Lynn?
Nope. I'm not. All right.
Okay, you do one more.
I'm going to do one more. Okay, so this is an older book, but it's Foundation Piece Quilts by several different authors. It's one of those multi-authors, and it was put out by Quilt Maker Magazine. Does that magazine even exist anymore?
I want to say yes. They do a lot of reference books that my mother-in-law has.
Right. So
there's got a lot of duplicates in it.
This has 14 different authors in it.
So you get a nice mix of style.
You do, which I kind of enjoy.
Appreciate. Ooh, little fun boats. Okay, this one is super cute. Look, it's Noah's Arks.
Is it? And that's a lot of arcs.
It's a lot of arcs. So they do like little novelty fabrics for all the animals.
That's darling.
Now, but you got to check. Be like, all right, are there two? Well, I guess that frog's just going to be lonely for the rest of his life. There's only one frog in that book.
The other frog could be downstairs in the boat.
Is that a euphemism?
No. Not euphemism. I did.
Yeah, this is a super cute one too with the
very traditional. Yeah, very nice.
So, any tips, Lynn? So, when you get a book like this, and now, well, you can't obviously sew on this, and you need multiples.
A lot
need
of
to
these books,
smash
when
the
you buy
spine.
them, have a CD in them or downloadable
Yeah,
things, especially
yeah.
the newer ones.
A link to go download, so you can
Mhm.
just print as many as you need.
So you print as many as you need because you've purchased the book. I did like this one too.
See, they call this one Thanksgiving wedding ring. Isn't that a pickle dish?
It's totally looks like a pickle
Am I
dish,
crazy?
but they get to call it whatever they want because
Alright. Maybe they don't like pickles. Maybe they're like me. I don't like pickles.
I love pickles. Man, I had a ton of pickles for
But-
lunch too.
I also don't know that I would get married at Thanksgiving. I mean, it's an easy reception menu, but Thanksgiving wedding ring, that's what they call it.
Oh, well, oh, that's true. Okay.
I may be
with
reading
you
a
now.
lot into it.
I think you're reading more into it than I did. But it does look like a pickle dish quilt, which what is typically a pickle dish quilt is when they have the little spikies on the spikies on the rings, like right there.
Mhm.
Those are little spikies instead of just the arc, and that's what makes it a pickle dish.
So instead of just the pieced arc, it's got
Little
spiky bits.
spiky bits, yes.
Is that
Which
because pickles
that's
have
on my.
bumps?
I don't know. That could be.
I mean, that's the warts of the quilt world right there. Pickle warts.
That's actually on my to-do list. I have a bucket list. I want to do a pickle dish quilt.
Oh, I thought you meant pickle warts.
No, I do want to do a pickle dish quilt because I think they're cool looking. But I liked the variety in that. This is one of the ones you'll probably have to buy off of Amazon, and it's going to be used because I don't think this is being printed.
even
It's an
eBay.
older,
Yeah.
or even eBay. It's an older one.
It's from that Patchwork Place, which is an imprint that's still alive. It's part of Martingale now, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I liked it. Not my favorite of the ones we have here, but, it works. Okay.
Okay, so speaking of bucket list quilts.
Okay. We talked about this the other night. Now, do you have this quilt or this book?
Let me finish setting up the story.
Okay, sorry.
Jeez. She's just jumping ahead. You don't even know what we're talking about.
All right, go ahead. Just talk.
So we had done an
I'll sit here.
episode on our bucket list quilts, and I had on there something akin to Dear Jane, which can be done paper pieced.
Oh, yes.
Or, maybe the whole Farmer's
think I
Wife
have-
book.
I think I
which-
have Dear Jane paper pieced on a EQ7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I had been thinking about something like that. And then this book showed up on our list, and I thought, maybe this is the thing that I want to do, which is another Carol Doak book, but it's 50 paper piece stars. So it is one for every state. And they're super cool.
They are. I really like some of these. And I think the Arkansas one was one of the ones I really liked, but they'll show you all. Aren't those neat? I will do that with you. Like, I will totally
And
do
there's a
that with
CD.
you. Yeah.
So
This
one
is
of
the
those, like,
libraries.
well, yeah. But we know people
We do know
the-
people.
print books that may be interested in sponsoring a quilt along or something.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And when I think like, oh, neat, look at those stars, like, okay, then I obviously would do them in similar colorways. So they kind of coordinate.
Oh, right. I mean, her stars are very much different.
Yeah, just to show.
The technique. There are some things that you should do with paper piecing that you don't normally do with other types of piecing. And one of the big things that you don't want to forget to do is shorten your stitch length.
Yeah, my stitch length is normally 2.2 millimeters, and I would shorten it down to 1.6.
Yes, you definitely want to shorten it because for a couple of reasons. The main reason is that it perforates the paper so that it's easier to pull it out. That's the main reason.
So is the quilt behind us paper pieced?
It's foundation pieced. So no, it's not paper pieced. It's a foundation piece, which again, I didn't take out it's a Quilt Smart technique, which is a company that does foundations for Lone Stars and double wedding rings and Hunter Stars and I think Dahlia.
Yeah, they have a giant dahlia one.
Giant Dahlia. several other types of designs, but it's kind of a fusible foundation type of process, double wedding ring. We did that. You and I both done that.
Mhm.
So, yeah. The difference between paper and foundation is paper you take out, foundation you don't. So that's
different materials.
Yeah. And usually the foundation is some kind of really light interfacing. And there's different types. Some are fusible, some are not. But it's a really light interfacing.
Yeah, sometimes they're a wash away.
Right. Because what you're going to do, and I've seen people do this at home too, you can buy that really light interfacing and run it through your printer and print an inkjet printer.
Not laser.
Not laser.
Gorpy.
An inkjet printer. And you can print the foundation pattern on that. And then you can, sew it up kind of thing. The problem you have is joining the sections together. Any tips?
Yes.
Okay, I have one.
Take a pen. Stab yourself in the eye. Just kidding. Don't do that. Take your pen. Well, then you get out having to put the thing together. Drop it. So if this is your paper piece and you're trying to hit this intersection, you drop your pen straight down. And then you poke it far enough, like maybe about half an inch through. And then you drop it then into like the right side of the piece you're joining it to at that intersection where they need to meet. Because typically it's like some design element that you're trying to make look like a straight line across two pieces. And so then you push the two things together and you wiggle them around until your pin is straight up and down. And you don't move that pin. You leave that pin straight up and down. And then you get another pin and you come in parallel to the paper beside it. And that's what you pin. And then you do that on both sides of that pin that's standing straight up and down.
Yes. And then the next thing you do is you increase your stitch length to where it's very long. And I'm saying if you're dropping it down to 1.6, you're increasing it to 2.2, 2.5.
Something that's easier to take out if you goof up.
Right. And you stitch along that line that you've just verified with the pen.
Mm-hmm. And then you
open it up.
Take a peek.
Did it look good? If it did, you don't have to take those stitches out. You just go back over that with the correct.
Yeah, the shorter stitch length.
Right. And what I would do, let's say you have to join 3 sections where you want something to meet up in 3 different parts of the seam that you're going to do. So what you do is you do the same technique that she's talking about with the pins in each section. You increase your stitch length, stitch over those, skip, make a jump stitch. In other words, in stitching right after your join, pull your needle up, drop it right before the next area you're getting ready to stitch that till right afterwards, pull your needle up, go back and do the last area you're getting ready to stitch. That way you're just looking at your joins. You're not looking at the in-between part. Peek in. Does it look good on all 3? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Take it out. Try it again. Right? And then once you're happy, cut your jump stitches and then just stitch along the whole thing. And that way you make sure you have verified exactly where those joins are going to be and they will match up. And again, it's practice.
Yep.
Yeah, glue's definitely a technique too.
I tend not to do it only because if you don't have a light hand with the glue, if you're trying to glue baste your seams together,
yeah,
it can bleed through to the paper and that makes it tougher to remove. And ultimately, usually it's a washable glue, and so it will come out in the wash. But if you're doing a wall hanging or something else that you're not washing, it can just make the paper stick to it. And it's just, I prefer not to glue baste in those cases.
But it does work. I mean, just be careful with your. Yeah, be careful with it. You can use the Wonder Clips. I feel like I have to take with this type of precision. I feel like I have to take those off before I really want my needle. Yeah. Before my needle advances to where I need it to be.
Yeah.
So, and that still gives too much room for it to slip. So it's not like you can't use them. I don't think I have as good a success with them. So that's where I am with that.
Okay, hit us with another one then.
Okay, so I've only got 2 left, by the way. So this is Paper Piecing Perfect Points by Debbie Craftful.
I got nothing. Cradaville.
I don't think that's how you
Sorry,
say her
Debbie.
name. Debbie, we're
Oh,
so
me.
sorry. This is by Martingale, and it was published in 2013, so it's not that old. But I really liked, this is like if you're into spiky stuff, I think it's cool. It has kind of a New York beauty jive to it.
If you wanted to be stabbed in the eye
And then
with
the
a sharp point.
ferns, it's very spiky, yes. It has kind of the fern look to it. It's got a circle flying geese, which that's nice. Because that, as Pam well knows, that's kind of hard to sketch out sometimes.
I mean, not if you intentionally are like making them.
She sketched out that for a quilt.
Just because it was my second quilt ever designed in EQ8.
She complained about it. But isn't that neat? I like it. Drink. No, just kidding.
Hold my beer.
But I thought these were interesting. Fun. And it's a newer book, so it's easy to get a hold of. So, and it is kind of that center medallion, spiky stuff, New York Beauty-esque. But I liked it. I thought it had some good, and it has the palm.
It's a pretty classic block.
It's a classic
I like this Art
block.
Deco-y block.
Oh, yeah, this
passed.
is nice.
Art Deco-y.
We need some Art Deco in our life.
Okay, and would like clarification. So when you put the first pin in, which is straight up and down, your other 2 pins are on top of, or like going through the fabric. They are perpendicular to the first pin.
So this is the first pin.
The other pins are like this. This looks like a really bad educational video. So they are not parallel to the first pin. They are perpendicular.
First, not fist. Yeah, first pin.
Pen or pin?
God, didn't we go through this?
Yes, that episode
All right,
drops.
so
we're in a bit of a time warp.
So I grew up in the middle of the country, and I'm part Southern, part Southern Illinois, and took a lot of speaking classes. And so I probably run those 2 together very well. I think somebody pointed out I say pen. And I think I mean both, but it's pin in. So it's pin.
No.
But I have to think about it to say it correctly.
P is in phone.
Phone.
P is in pneumonia.
Pen.
We do a lot of funky spelling jokes with our kids when they're growing up just to keep them sharp. Like, how do you spell pen? P is in pneumonia.
I can't spell. We
it's
all
real
know that.
fun to mess with a 7-year-old, y'all.
I can't spell, so I don't know.
Okay. We got one more. Stop playing with your phone.
Oh, y'all, I got a new phone.
No, don't.
It's like crack. Look.
My phone
like it.
Is business because bam, my driver's license. Ain't got time for all that nonsense.
I got this from the library, but when I got it home, I was like, wait a minute. I have this book.
Nice.
So this is the library one because I didn't want to try to find mine. But I bought this book, and mine's autographed by one of the authors. This is also one of those multi-purpose or multi-author book. It's all paper piecing. Carol Doak's in here. Cynthia England, who we're going to take class from in a couple months. Carol Breyer Fallert. And the person who I took the class from is Jane Hall, who I actually have met and know her. She judged the quilt show for me 2 years ago. Not this quilt show, but 2 years ago. And Jane is a lovely, lovely lady, and I enjoyed spending time with her. So anyway, what I like about this is you get a different flavor in each one of them, but the thing that I think is really cool about this is one of the ones where they show you paper piecing, and they not only show you, and this is what I think's good about paper piecing, is you can get some of these really intricate animals and birds and recognizable type of images aside from just like a block look from paper piecing. So like if you wanted to do a cardinal, but a couple of people in here that Jane Hall's in here, it was how to do a log cabin, which I thought was cool. But the other one is, and she is local to this area, and her name is Elaine Sullivan. And this is actually how I learned how to paper piece, was Elaine Sullivan's little stuff. And she is known for all kinds of flowers.
I did seashell pattern of hers. The snowflake table runner I talked about is hers.
I've done rose. I've got a magnolia and a bunch of roses, like a bouquet. I did a single rose. I think I've done a little butterfly, and but she's got quilts in the National Quilt Museum. She's done some really neat stuff, but she was kind of the one that I learned from. And her beginner book, which I have someplace, which I couldn't find, but was a little, it's a little book like this, went how to do it. And most of her stuff is very much more pictorial stuff, which I think is a advantage of paper piecing that you don't get in just piecing something together. Because if you had to piece together what she does pictorially, you would like cry. But the other thing that I liked in here was there's one person in here. There's Cynthia England. Look, we're going to take a class from her in like 2 months. I'm so excited. I'm doing the heron. I'm taking on Thursday.
I'm doing a grist mill.
I know. I'm excited. I almost took that one. But here, Carol Fowler Bryant.
Briar Fowler.
God, I wish I could get her name right.
Gentry.
Yes. She shows you how to do this with some curve piecing. And it's not a traditional paper piecing technique, but her technique's in here, and she just has gorgeous quilts, like gorgeous, gorgeous quilts. And so that's what you would make in hers. I love this book. If I had to pick one of this whole set, this would be the one. There you go. I not only like it, I love it. There you go.
Okay.
And, one of the things that Jane Hall taught me was you can make your own, if you're doing like a log cabin or and I wouldn't paper piece a log cabin, but a pineapple block can make sense to paper piece a pineapple block.
Oh yeah. Especially
if the logs are really thin. One of the things that Jane taught me is you take the top copy of the pineapple block and you stack it on, 4 or 5 sheets of typing paper, blank paper. And then you sew along the lines without any thread in your sewing machine, along the lines with a bigger stitch, not a tiny stitch, with a bigger stitch. And then all of those extra papers are your other patterns. Now, she taught us that. I've never done it.
I would rather just go
copy it.
But
before copies were easier to come by, in a pinch, if you don't have a copier right with you, you can do that. So, but I like this book. So there you go. Now you're kick. Oh, this is the one of Elaine's that's in the museum.
Oh yeah.
That one. Kind of thing. But they've got all other stuff, and they do some curved insets in this one. Where they teach you how to inset curves and stuff like that, which I think is another kind of cool thing. So this is my favorite of the ones we've talked about. And I actually own it. And it's signed by Jane. I should have taken it to Elaine and had her sign it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because she vended at the show.
And you can have Cynthia sign it.
Oh, exactly. Then I could collect them. That would be cool. Robin Ruth designed rulers for strip piecing star quilts. No, I haven't run those. I don't know of those. Then maybe I have to check it out.
It would make more sense for you to have heard of them because you're more into rulers than I am.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But I haven't bought I did buy a ruler this week. I bought a ruler Thursday. And you guys probably already have this ruler if you're ruler people, but I bought the block lock ruler this week.
Which one? There's like a bajillion.
Just the little square one. It's like a 4-inch square one.
For a half square triangle?
Mm-hmm. I didn't think there were a bajillion, though. Are there?
There's variety.
Inquiring minds want to know.
There are variety, yes.
I knew there were.
There is variety?
I knew that she was selling a bigger one, a smaller one, and those are the only two she had. Pam Buddha. I bought it from Pam Buddha. So, and block lock. See, I knew people. Yes, love block lock rulers. See, I had not tried it yet.
But
so
for them to be effective, you have to press to one side. You can't press open.
Correct. But I do press to one side, so that's good. I'm good. You press open usually, don't
Depends
you?
on the context.
It does for me too, but 9 times out of 10.
Fun video coming up on Tuesday about pressing both open and to the side in the same block.
What?
Because sometimes I go crazy.
You do. That's true. She does go crazy sometimes.
I got a Violet Craft paper piecing pattern to do.
So if you were doing paper piecing, like if you had a choice of doing piecing and paper piecing, is there
the only one for the rest of my life? I'd still stick with piecing.
No. That's not my question. No. I'm just saying, like, we don't have it hanging up behind us tonight, but you did this great Harry Potter quilt. That was, wait. So another resource for paper piecing patterns that are free is Fandom in Stitches. And if you are a fan of whatever comic book, superhero, sci-fi,
Pokemon, Muppets,
Disney, Harry Potter, Doctor Who, any of those major fandom,
Star Trek, Princess Bride,
Outlander, all of those. They have a series of free downloadable paper piecing patterns where you get to do the character or like objects that were in the book. I know the Harry Potter had a broom and the other stuff.
The house elf.
Stuff like that.
So it was 1 block a week for 30 weeks. And she called it the Project of Doom because it took so long.
And you complained about it, but it's gorgeous.
Well, yeah, because it took forever. But then you turn it into a bookshelf. And so you could just do the core bookshelf, or then you get fancy like me and you add feet to the bookshelf and a top. And now there's a dragon on top. And now there's a broom against the side. And then it just got huge. But I won a ribbon. So
it's beautiful. I think it deserved a ribbon.
Sure did.
Exactly.
It took forever.
It wasn't that bad. But she was like, I'm not getting very many quilts done. And I was like, yes, but you're working on this really super cool quilt. That is awesome. And you're glad you did. And it's really cool. Mm-hmm. So, but if you're into any of those things, that's where you go get those. The key with Fandom in Stitches is you can't publish them.
You can't
you can take pictures of them and post them that you've done, but you can't sell the pattern or you can't make it into something. You can't redistribute
because that gets into copyright violation. Well, it's just not cool to steal someone else's work and pass it off as your own. But the intellectual property owners of like Star Wars, aka Disney, will come after you.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have all the Marvel stuff too now. I haven't been out there in a while. I'm sure they have.
They've got some Marvel stuff. They definitely
like
have
Iron Man
yeah.
and Captain America and stuff.
They got some really cute Muppet patterns if you're into those.
I like the Muppets. Muppets are cool.
We were talking about Muppets at work. Well, I was talking about Muppets with another woman close to my age, and beside us was a young man in his early 20s, and we're like, "You don't even know what we're talking about, do you?" And he's just like, "Fozzie, what?"
I didn't know Fozzie Bear.
Well, we started naming Muppets, and then it was kind of like there was a vague like cultural awareness. Like I have soaked this in from the zeitgeist, but I have not seen the show, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
For like, well, then we're not going to make that a thing at work, or like a theme. We were talking about a theme for an event coming up. We're like, yeah, we could have something everyone's actually heard of to be meaningful.
The Muppets may not be it. How's the Alice in Wonderland quilt? It's done. It will hang in an upcoming episode of our show.
I think the next one that drops.
Yeah. So you get to see it.
Yeah, because we did yours and then we hung Dresden Garden behind us for the one after.
I will tell you how it's stored right now. Is it's in a suitcase because I did a lecture the other night, and it was the first time I actually took it out for a lecture. So I had the two Alice in Wonderland
series.
The series. When does it count? I don't think 2 is a series yet. I think you have to have at least 3 done
4.
For it to be a series.
3 is a trilogy.
Oh man, so I'm gonna have to have 4. Got 2 more to do. Next one I'm doing is Cheshire Cat, though. It is. That's the next one I'm doing.
Okay.
And I can't decide if I'm going to use ombre fabric in it or not. The other 2 have it. The judge didn't like it.
It does make it hard to see
So I'm thinking I may do a hand dye.
Yeah, well, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So I'm looking for, I don't know if I want to use cherry wood, which I really thought would be kind of cool. And I want it to be, I think I'm going to use a purple, but I don't know if I should use a light purple or a dark purple. I don't think there's I don't want to use medium.
What color is the Cheshire Cat supposed to be?
Well, I was going to do him in purples.
So whatever purple you use him for, you need the opposite.
Yeah.
For the background.
So I don't know. I know what it's going to say, but I'm not going to say that yet. So.
Okay.
There you go. Well, I've, got to leave something for people to
tune in for.
Yes.
Not this scintillating content right here for the next 18 minutes.
No. It was good. It was good.
Okay.
So I think you ought to do this, the 50 stars. And I'll do it with you, but we have to get a hold of the book. I mean,
multiple copies of the book.
Yes. And I'm going to owe the library a quarter for each of these books when I take it back, just FYI. I already paid them 1 quarter, but I'm going to be late.
Petty cash.
Good, because I'm using it. Just saying.
But you better save the receipt.
No, they won't give me a receipt. I bet they will if I ask.
Just make a note.
We tune in for the small talk.
Send me a messenger. Take a screen cap of your face looking like a dragon head and just say $2.
I want my $2. They owe me. Guild owes me $2 anyway because I had to go buy lunch the other day, and she gave me a 20, and it was $22.25. It's like, good thing I have cash in my wallet, which is unusual because normally I don't. It's like, thank God. I'm not always late on library books. I would have been on time, but our book club, I checked it out last month, and our book club was tonight, and I should have turned it in this morning, so I will be late. I will be late next month.
We'll just put that in the budget. So I have like 48 hours to read a 500-page library book.
Oh, that's easy. You can do that in a day.
I know. I'm 20% of the way through.
I'm a 300-page book, just like that.
Yeah.
Just like. Now, don't ask me details because I may not have those. I've heard of using paper piecing or freezer paper when paper piecing. I haven't done it. And my New York Beauty, I haven't worked on lately because I've been doing the show and all that kind of stuff. So I did get it out, and my mother-in-law was down a couple weeks ago, and she said she wanted to see it. So we got out the blocks and we put them on the the design wall and we looked at them, and then I put them away. I just don't have time to do it right now. Pam is so happy, y'all. Let me just tell you how happy Pam is. Pam found a new app.
Well, here's why Pam had to find a new app.
Pam found a new app and she has been assigning me stuff on my calendar for 2 weeks now. She's like, "Oh,
here's why
you
Pam
need to
had
do
to find
this."
a new app. Because Pam did have everything in a spreadsheet. Guess who didn't look at the spreadsheet or pay attention to the spreadsheet?
Oh, don't.
And would just go like take liberties with the spreadsheet.
I've taken liberties with a couple of tasks
and that's fine because I can move them back and be like, "Nuh-uh." But I mean, there's nothing egregious that's.
I just
slipped.
Moved some. Yes.
Yeah.
The 2 things didn't get done today.
But it worked out well because I was also struggling of like, when am I filming what and when does that do? And now there's like multiple moving parts to things.
There is, and I honestly, I do appreciate it. And I'm glad it's on a calendar because now I kind of, but I think, I hate to say this, though I only see it on the calendar when it's due and not when I should start working on it.
So if I open up the app, there's a 7-day view because sometimes I'll open it, I'm like, I don't have to do anything. That doesn't seem right. But I look at the 7-day view, I'm like, oh, I can plan ahead a little bit.
Yeah. So, but I need to look at that. So anyway. And she's so happy. She's assigned things to me.
I gotta assign
I told the guild.
else.
I told the guild when I was speaking to the other night. So I went and spoke at a guild Tuesday night, and Pam didn't come with me because it's not. The app
is Todoist, Todoist.
Yes,
and it integrates with Google Calendar.
Yes. Oh, but when you integrate it with Google Calendar, use your computer to integrate it. You can't do it from your phone or iPad.
Yep.
Ask me how I know.
Same reason I
I'm like,
figured it out.
this is broken. I'm
Anyway.
texting her.
Okay.
So I went and gave a lecture to the Spirited Quilters Guild of Duluth, Georgia, and they were lovely. Thank you very much for having me. But so what was really cool? Oh, there's a fly. What was really cool?
I'm infested.
That's not cool. Let's not have that.
I'll explain more later.
What was really cool
what is
someone had the Bobbin Chicken shirt on at the guild meeting. I was like, Bobbin Chicken in the wild. I took a picture and I tried to send it to you, but
you ended up sending it to the group chat.
I sent it to both.
Well, you texted it to me, and then the picture went through over there, and then you like kept talking to me individually, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Both. It's very confusing.
Well,
but it's cool to see
the connection. It was cool to see it in the wild. The connection at where I was not very strong for the internet, so I was having problems texting people.
So, question about, can you schedule alerts? Yes, you can set reminders. One of the things that I like, it is sophisticated enough. So as you're typing a task, you can be like, okay, do the show notes 3 days before the first Friday at 7 p.m. As opposed to do it on the first Tuesday, which may not always be the right Tuesday before the first Friday. Because the first Tuesday may be after the first Friday. But I have to do show notes 3 days before, or I want to.
Yes. So I didn't know it could do that because I just read the task.
You just like start
try to get.
Text.
I just try to get them done.
I kind of pushed it with some sophisticated calendaring, and it stuck with it.
And it was good.
And if you go to shop.thestitchtvshow.com, there's a section for show merchandise, and the t-shirts are in there. And there's a link to that in the show notes as well on both YouTube. Well, yes, on YouTube, not on the blog post yet.
Yet would be the keyword. I want my $2. Yes, that's from Better Off Dead. That's exactly what I was quoting. I said that to someone at the guild the other day, but this is to East Cop Guild, which is a little bit older. Nobody got it. I was kind of sad. I was like, really? I want my $2. Nobody got it. Who else had a question? Oh, I don't know what my celebrity spirit animal is.
Like what celebrity we most think we are like, or what famous animal are we? I'm not sure how to interpret the combination of words.
I don't know that there's a local restaurant around here that when you go in and you order, you like walk up to the front and order it, and they ask you these questions, and then you give them an answer, and then that's what they call out for you to come pick up your order instead of like your name or a number, which we're all used to. So the question was, last time I was in there, what celebrity do you look most like? And I'm like, okay, either that's I've got a big ego and I look like, somebody super, or
Leonard Nimoy.
or I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I don't even know how to answer that question.
I have only ever been told I look like someone's elementary school teacher or Mary Hart. Those are the only two comparisons I've ever gotten.
I don't think anybody said. I don't know. I just don't have I don't know. So you'll have to tell me more about celebrity spirit animals for me to get it.
We are not going to be consuming peyote to learn our spirit animal.
I'm pretty sure that's a no.
I think I am most like Pam from the Stitch TV show.
I think I'm most like Lynn, period.
I don't know. How often do you say, well, I like it?
I like it. All the time, apparently.
Take a shot, everybody.
I had no idea I said I like it.
It's the things that you learn, like when you were filming the first class and you texted me, you're like, I'm never going to say the word okay again.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what we're going to do.
But
okay,
then,
what
but
we're
then
going to
as
do.
I'm filming,
Okay,
I find myself doing it. And I'm like, oh, dang it.
So when I was teaching, I used to teach college. So when I was teaching college, my second or third year of teaching, one of the students was like, let's talk like Lynn. And they were using all these hand gestures that I apparently do when I teach. And they were accurate. I mean, I do. So
there was a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills episode just like that. They all got kind of tipsy at a chateau in France and started impersonating each other. Usually that's when it goes sideways, but everyone was so drunk they didn't remember it.
Yeah. So apparently when I teach, just so you know, I get points across with different hand gestures. It's true. I'm sure I do it when I lecture too. I'm sure I do it. Oh, now we need to make a t-shirt. I like it. I like it. I'm an animated character.
Okay, how do we do a conceptual t-shirt where your half on the left says I like it and my half is like the flat expressionless emoji?
Like this. I can't even do you.
Which is all my baby pictures. That
I can't even do you. Like, let me try. I can't.
One time, that should be our April Fool's episode. We sit on the other sides of the table and try to impersonate each other.
We said, I forgot who we were talking to. I don't know who we met. Somebody said,
I think it was at QuiltCon.
Yeah, they're like, you're on the wrong side. Switch. They made us change positions. We're so used to seeing you a certain way. I like it in orange. Yeah, that's true. It does need to be in orange. I agree with that. It has to be a quilting mistake. Yours could be, that's a mistake. Mine could be, it's a design choice. I don't think I can do you. I'm sorry. I'm tickled now. It's not going to happen.
Someone's been doing her own drinking game.
This is total tea. It's tea. Y'all know it's tea. Tea. This is tea.
Long Island?
No.
From there?
I like that. A happy dog. I like it. And you can be the cat just going, whatever. She does that to me all the time, though. She totally does.
I do it to everybody. I do it to the cat. The cat does it back. And then I'm like, we're just sitting here casting each other the side eye. Oh, they were not happy today. So we've been having the outside of our house painted because I thought it had been 12 years. It's been 14 because I was pregnant with my daughter last time it was painted.
Oh,
I don't know. 13 and a half. And it was Thanksgiving. So it was well past time. And, it's not a drastic color change. But the cats have it's been like 3 days of prep work of like a lot of banging and pieces of wood being replaced that had gotten rotten and various things. And so we've been locking the cats up in my bedroom So if they needed to open the door and leave it open, we weren't going to freak out about it. But didn't need to do it the first 3 days, but we had just done it just in case. And then I got to work from home the last 2 days. And so they started painting yesterday, but they did all the siding. And today was trim work, which means they had to open windows and open doors. And I was like, oh gosh. But they had opened up the windows in our bedroom, so I couldn't shove the cats up there because they took the screens off too. And so it's like, now what? So it was just an afternoon of like frantic panic counting, like I'm chaperoning the cat field trip to make sure, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like when I took my son's class to the aquarium and I had to count to 7, and then I picked up an 8th, and I'm like, oh crap, I got an extra one. Like, oh no, what do I do? Whose kid is this?
Where'd I get this one?
So it wasn't traumatic, but like Jet like was just doing that like low slinking walk through the house.
Like you didn't know what was going on.
Morelli set up like between the couch and the wall, like he was in a tiny fort. Like we're being stormed, they're not going to take the beach. So
It's funny.
And Nina kept walking up to the window and looking at the guys like,
get in here, I'll take you.
So yeah. So then I finally got to where I could close the windows upstairs and shove them up there. And I'm like, sweet. I go to the bathroom to like get a trash bag. I come out, all 3 cats sitting on the kitchen counter. I'm like, what are you doing out? I close the door. One of them opened the door.
I got ninja skills.
Gather them all back up, shove them back upstairs.
Oh, mine have ninja skills.
It was a day.
One of them opened their crate the other day and let themselves out.
They were done.
Jock was like, I'm not staying here any longer.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you had access to be able to do that. Either that or we didn't lock it, latch it.
Yeah, I think we got one more day.
Well, I already said today's Josie's birthday.
Yes. Or did you get cake?
Bacon? No. I was going to, okay, so like in the past, when my dogs have had birthdays, we'll take them and go get ice cream. Because little Brewster's, which is the local ice cream chain here, has little scoop of vanilla and a little milk bone in it, and they love it. Josie hates ice cream. Every time we've taken her, she's like,
Have you done the pup cup at the Starbucks drive-thru? It's like just whipped milk.
I could try that. See, I don't do Starbucks, but I could do that. I don't do Starbucks because I don't drink coffee. But they have tea now. I just never go there because I forget. It's not a need.
You could take her to the bank. They give out biscuits too.
I know. Yes.
They like to give them to Fred when I go through there.
Yes. The problem is when we go in the car with them, we have an SUV and they're in the back. So they can't like get the...
They can't sit in the front and pretend they're driving like Fred does. I posted a picture of that.
They're too big. And they never getting in the car is not their thing. They're like, oh, do we have to go? And then they shake like this till we pass the vet.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we're not going there. Good job.
Meanwhile, Fred is just capital E excited. We're going. Let's go. We're going. Let's go to the hardware store. Let's go to.
I put them in the car and they're both like I've tortured them. That's okay. I took them to the dog park, and you would think they thought that was the worst thing ever. Hated it. Ugh, weird dogs. I have weird dogs.
So in the sweetest sense of irony, in our last 2 minutes, let me say that we got a fence when we got Fred, so we could fence in our backyard just to let him out. And as it turns out, the owner of the fence company moved in like down and across the street from us. And he's a lovely man, and we love his fence. But his dog is an escape artist. And so every other day, there's a Facebook post in the neighborhood like, your dog's out again. And we're like, you own a fencing company, sir. Come on.
Have you seen
Come on.
One of my favorite videos on YouTube? Look it up. It just makes me cry every time I watch it because I'm laughing so hard. Is the Stella dog video. So it's just type in, I guess, fence and Stella, and you will find it's only like 30 seconds. It's the funniest video.
We featured it in an early newsletter.
Oh my God.
And the newsletter is still
one of my favorites. Is it on the to-do list?
Yes, it is on my to-do list under the general admin category.
I can see some of yours.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be able to?
If I create it in a folder and share the folder with you, yes, you see
Oh,
them.
okay.
If I make a double secret list, if you
Do we have double secret lists?
not really. If it's a
Okay.
double secret task, I just put it on my Google task instead of this app. So then,
Okay.
but that's like, oh, go quilt this quilt or replace the dog gate or stuff.
So go watch Stella Fence and just let me know you laugh too, because that's the funniest thing ever.
Okay. Well, on that note, we have hit our time.
Yeah, really? It's
We have.
already?
It's
Oh,
8
wow.
o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
I got
And
cats
on a
to go see.
weekend. What? And 4th of July is coming up, y'all, in the United States. Have a great 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Go watch some fireworks.
Good job, uppity colonists. Sorry, England.
Sorry, England.
Ooh, I got a
rebelled.
good British friend I gotta go poke at next week.
We rebelled. Sorry, England. And just so you know, my ancestors was one of them. Several, actually.
Yippers. So thanks, guys. Stay tuned. We'll post a link to the next live stream. I don't think we picked a topic for it yet. So
No, I haven't.
So throw out some comments in the episode here if y'all want. So thanks. Bye.